Welcome to the Dart Connect Derby, event number 11 on the 2023 Championship Dart Circuit.
A lot on the line here in this first semifinal. Best of 13. It is now a race to 7 for the rest of this. And if you don't think these guys know all of the implications, you are sadly mistaken.
Well, they know. There's a hug there. You know, a hug before we get started, but, man, they both know
The battle.
what's got to happen.
The averages today,
97.
I'm telling you, kind of favor Dave Cameron. His first 9 today, a 108.23.
Wow.
That is high quality. That is PDC top, PDC
100.
level, first 9 average. His average finish is also a 48.53, so he's finishing very well too. Half of his rounds, he's hitting at least a treble, 100 plus, 51% of the time.
100.
Jim Long is averaging an 85.93, so there's about a 10-point difference in the average. That being said, Jim Long is so good at timing perfectly
100.
what happens. And also, they played each other 4 times. Jim Long has bested David Cameron 3 out of those 4 times.
I mean, I'm here to tell you, I said it when we were talking in between. Jim Long
41.
is that quiet guy who is he's a giant killer. Like, we all know he's talented. I'm not taking anything away from that. But he steps up, he's calm, he's
100.
collected, he picks his moments, and then all of a sudden, he's got you, and he's got you bested.
Well, Jim Long from London, Ontario, was the finalist in the cross-border challenge at the beginning of this
46.
season, losing to Jeff Smith 6-0, which Jeff Smith beat everyone a lot to a little
Right?
in that second day. He didn't lose a single leg.
No, not a single
89.
one.
A lot on the line here. Both these guys cemented in the Continental Cup Tour Finals. And now, who wants to play in the World Arts Championship? They both do.
Oh, yeah.
But who's going to do the job? David Cameron off right now in this first leg. Jim Long's going to have
112.
6 darts at 112 to break the throw right out the gate. He might not need him. Double 16.
80.
He will be back with David on 180. Both these guys have been waiting for quite a while.
Yeah, they've been idle for a minute. But both
60.
of them
Jim, you require
absolute
32.
professionals who've
Yep.
been here more than one time before. So no doubt, out and about in there, staying loose, keeping warm, keeping themselves, dialed in however they choose.
Double 8.
16.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
David, you require 120.
Opens up the door for Cameron to steal the leg and hold his throw. Needs a treble 20. Doesn't get it. So Jim Long will be back with double 8.
40. Jim, you require 16.
Last one was a little bit interesting
I think
and
he was-
aggressive.
yeah.
Game shot in
He
the
was
first.
There we
thinking
go.
hyper
Jim
aggressive.
Long.
Double 8,
Second
break a
leg is
throw
Jim to
for
throw
Jim
first.
Long.
Game on.
Takes a 1-0 lead. Advantage Jim Long now. First to 7 legs. This is now becoming a marathon and not a sprint.
95.
I hate to say this, but I'm going to be honest with you. Jim Long winning makes the storyline tomorrow so much better. So much more fun.
100.
I mean, it's the best either way.
It ramps everybody up.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, if Jacob Taylor would have come in here in the lead and run through, he'd have just extended his lead further out and made it a lot less interesting.
Thanks a lot, Alex Spellman. And Stowe Buns.
And Stobunts. But now this is just, it's throwing it into a blender and hitting frappe, and we're just going to figure it out. Like, let's take it out to the back parking lot,
36.
boys, and settle your differences on the board.
Speaking of Alex Spellman and Stowe Buns, both of them very close to cementing their spot at the World Arts Championship, and they are our second semifinal.
58.
So chances are out of our 4 semifinalists in this event number 11, the Dark Neck Derby, 3 of them are playing at the World Darts Championship.
60.
Unless Jacob Taylor has quite a run tomorrow, which is more
Absolutely
likely
possible.
than not. Because
Yeah.
Jacob Taylor he's the
Absolutely
truth.
feasible. You'd be silly to say anything otherwise, but man, yeah, potentially
136.
75% of the people you're going to see in these semifinals will be the World Dart Championship.
More than likely.
100. Jim, you require 72.
And I kind of want to know what universe we're existing in right now.
Double 12. The gentleman, double 6. He'll be back, but it's with
66.
double 3. Ugh.
I don't.
Ain't
don't
nobody got
want-
time for that.
You don't want to ever say Madhouse, but anybody want to go 1 for double 1?
Will he pull this off the stole bunts from last week and go double 1,
95.
double 1, double 1?
Jimmy, you require 6.
Which, by the
No.
way, is so gross.
That's absolutely gross.
Well, he's going to go 1 for double 1 here. He
Game
made a
shot in the
mess of it,
second
but
leg.
cleaned it up himself.
Long.
Jim Long takes a
Third leg is David's
2-0
first.
lead
Game
over
on.
David Cameron early in the semifinal. And this has not been the David Cameron we've been used to seeing.
Not even a little.
Definitely not the one who averaged 101.
83.
Or I'm sorry, averaged 98 in his defeat of Danny Lobby in the last leg or
Right.
last match. And I'm going to say this: Jim Long has, for some reason or another, not
60.
gotten the best David Cameron, except for in 2020. David Cameron averaged a 91.30. Otherwise, an 86.78, an 80.45, and an 81.67 from David Cameron, which is below his averages in all of those.
140.
Maybe a little Canadian familial love there going on, where you're homie, you're playing him, and maybe things go a little softer. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either, and I will tell you this, that neither does David
140.
Cameron, but right now he's got to be thinking, why on earth can I not play this guy at the top level that I tend to play?
Is Jim Long David Cameron's kryptonite?
Is he King Arthur to his Excalibur?
140.
Did he put him back in the stone to stay? You know? I mean, you never know.
44. David, you require 100.
All right, 138 from David Cameron. Sitting on 138 after 9 is more what we expect out of David Cameron.
Definitely a better leg.
Going to tee this up. He tried to
60.
leave 38. Jim Long back on 257. Needs a couple trebles to put any pressure on the 78. There's one of them.
100. David, you require 78.
Is that in? Double 12, and he
Game
hits
shot
it
third
in
leg.
2.
David Cameron.
David Cameron, a
leg is Jim
14
is
dart
in
hole to
first.
throw. That's
Game
more like it. And I'm telling you, again, those averages are just continue to rise. And you're seeing it right now.
140.
Jim Long, 140. Jim Long from London, Ontario. It's about an 8-hour trip. David Cameron on the East Coast in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
100.
Of course, David Cameron played in the Senior Masters last weekend. He does have a Senior Masters championship. Lost to a very informed Leonard Gates, who averaged 101
66.
Yeah.
plus
Yeah,
to David Cameron's 98 point something.
absolutely.
$60.
And David Cameron knows he's just one break of throw away from taking back control of the match. And in this long format, he's going to have plenty of opportunities to do so.
Yeah, he's not out of it. It's not over. We're not one leg away from
97.
destiny. It's just, he's just got to take his time, dial it back in, find the scoring again, and then just do what he does,
a
what he
perfect
knows
first
he
start.
can do, and what he's done over and over again.
85.
You can tell he's still struggling to find it a little bit.
He almost seems a little tense.
Well,
I mean, it's hard
wouldn't
not.
you be?
Well, I'd be a nervous wreck,
58.
but I'm not with these guys. But I mean, I'm just saying compared to what I've seen, he just seems to look like he feels a little. I don't know. He's carrying himself like he's a little tense.
Do you think this? And
83.
I'll explain why I say
Jimmy
this
require
after I ask this
140.
question. But do you think the implications between the storylines of the Canadian Order of Merit and the U.S. Order of Merit favors the American in the final, whichever one it is?
100.
The reason why I say that is because David Cameron winning or Jim Long winning the event very much helps their status. Stowe Bunce is pretty much locked into that
64.
third
Jimmy
spot
require
for the World
40.
Art Championship. Alex Spellman pretty much locked in to number 1 on the Order of Merit. So they're going to play a little bit looser in the final. Do you agree with that? Double 10.
Yeah, no, I think
He
that's
shot the
that's
fourth
an
leg.
accurate statement.
Jim
And then
Long.
also,
Fifth
like,
leg
with
is
the
David
Americans on
first.
top and
Game on.
potentially out of the 3 going, 2 of them being Americans, I think that the Canadians are out to prove themselves a little more, to say, don't forget about us.
85.
Don't ever think for a second.
I'm telling you right now, there is no way that I'm ever going to overlook
No,
the
never.
Canadians versus U.S. after that cross-border challenge this
Nope,
year.
not even a little. Not even a little. They put the U.S. on notice, man.
I mean,
You know,
we can say what it was. They whooped them.
there was a whooping. That was a good old fashioned take him out to the shed and redheaded stepchild, away we go. But you know, it's I mean,
100.
we are all friends here, and obviously Canada and North America or the United States love each other very much, but at the same time, these guys, being comrades at the Aki, are also fierce competitors. So, yeah, there's pride. There's always going to be national pride
Of course.
100.
in what you're doing. Think of it on. I mean, think of it as an Olympic thought process. You're representing your country.
Speaking of which, isn't it kind of, it's almost blasphemy at this point that darts is not in the Olympics.
Yeah,
42.
talking about putting snooker in there, but we can't get darts in there.
Is snooker in the Olympics?
It's on the ballot to be voted in, is what I was told. That and
Okay.
a few other random things.
85.
Does anyone else in the world play snooker?
I don't know. I don't know how to play snooker.
I've seen some 146s. I know that's or is it 146 the
140.
max?
I don't know.
I think so. Uh-oh. We just made enemies of our
Our Welsh friend we met earlier.
well, I was going to say our European friends that are watching along.
Well, they can feel free to
100.
send me some messages or emails, and they can break the game down for me and make it seem fun.
And that's Ryan George who just told you to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dave Cameron,
Hit me up.
treble 14 for 32.
It's
What
so
a
good.
1-3-4 checkout from
It's
David
so
Cameron to
good.
hold his throw.
Sixth leg is Jimmy
It's so
first.
good.
Game on.
15 dart hole to throw. The averages continue to grow. 3-2 scoreline. Jim Long knows that all he has to do, though, is hold his throw throughout,
60.
and he will win this match and become the first finalist of the Dart Connect Derby. Our sponsor for this match is Boomerang Tours. Fishing, snorkeling, surfing.
99.
Make a dream trip magical with Boomerang Tours Costa Rica. Plan your Costa Rican getaway with www.boomerangtourscr.com. And I'm telling you right now, I have seen all of those commercials.
60.
I have seen our floor director, Mr. Jeff Good, post all the things that he posts. It looks like an absolute blast.
Yeah, literally paradise.
Yeah.
Literally.
100.
All right. Well,
Advantage David Cameron
Yeah.
right now in this leg.
definitely after those 3
43.
darts.
Yeah, David, when he's back on 302, tends to go at the 20s, even when 18s is the typical
97.
first dart.
Yeah.
You know, Jim Long has to hit a maximum to leave a finish. So I'm okay with that type of strategy there. And that's the one thing that I think a lot of
60.
players that are amateur players forget about is, yes, 302 is the right shot to go 18s first. But if your opponent's not really cannot potentially leave a finish, there's no reason to shoot the right shot or the mathematically correct shot.
100.
You can just do what you're comfortable with. And
Yeah.
Dave Cameron is comfortable hitting a lot of treble 20s.
Yeah. I mean, it's a situation where if the math demands that there's a way you should do things, and if it doesn't, then you can freestyle your way.
100. David, you require 105.
105 left for David Cameron
He's
to
got
break the throw, and he has 6 of them.
Yep.
Made it even. Smart dart. Nope, now it's not a smart dart.
30.
He was fine leaving 35. Now, Jim Long can put some pressure on the 75 left from David Cameron. Would love a treble, though. See a little sly smile from him.
60.
Oh, just
David,
unable
you
to get it
require
up there.
75.
Treble 17. 18. Tops.
35.
sailed that one a little bit.
Jim
Jimmy
Long,
required
this
118.
118 goes. That is massive.
Well, yeah. It's a hole to throw and seals up the
Double
break.
19. Oh, that would have been a heck of a dart.
David, you require 40.
Small look to the camera there, maybe from Mr. Long.
This to
Game shot in the 6th.
turn the turd tables. And we are now back on throw for David Cameron. Breaks the throw of Jim Long. 3-3 score line. There's a long way to go in this battle.
Oh yeah.
So far, who takes it down, bud?
I mean,
Who you got?
Jim Long ran out in front. David wasn't scoring. Jim was scoring well and finishing well, and now David has brought it back, and Jim has settled down a little bit. I mean, averages as far as the story tells, we're neck and neck. It's really just going to come down to who blinks first or who finds that big score or that big checkout. I think it's what's
45.
really, truly going to come down to.
I'm going to give the advantage to David Cameron, and here's why. He's in like 3rd gear right now. He's got 2 other gears that he can hit. And if he hits them starting now, just like that 180, Jim Long might be in for a blink, and it might be over type of situation. Especially with David Cameron averaging 96 throughout the
60.
event so far today. So you know that it's in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no one's ever doubted what's in the tank. It's just he hadn't done it in this particular match.
Maybe those first 6 legs were just more of a warm-up since they've been waiting for quite a while.
Stretching his legs out and getting ready. Anything's possible.
Jim Long needs a big score here just to get back in this one.
58.
And that is back-to-back treble visits for Mr. Jim Long.
Yeah, still in the 300s after 9 is definitely not the standard that he would like to be at. I think he shook his head there, too, at the statement we just made. He can't hear us, but I'm just going to imagine it.
Lord, I would hope not. That'd be a nightmare.
But not for all the people watching along on YouTube and PDC.TV. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate you tuning in with us in the Dart Connect Derby event number 11.
Absolutely.
57.
Sets it up with 2 25s. Jim Long, only a maximum would put any pressure on. The 133, not bad, though.
David, you require 40.
Tops for David Cameron to hold his throw and take a 4-3 lead. Double 10. And he hits it again.
He seems to weigh into that double 10 well.
Jim to throw first. Game on.
It's a 4-3 lead for David Cameron. Jim Long has to break his throw.
86.
Still a lot of time left to do so, though.
I mean, there's plenty of time. We got tons of road left. We're nowhere near the end of the journey just yet. There's a lot that can happen between now and then.
60.
You can find a new gear. Wheels can fall off. Crazy things can happen. You know, we saw that in the Gates match. The effects of a random and rare moment changing the tide of a match entirely.
My goodness, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Leonard Gates had 151 left, goes treble 20, treble 17, and miscounts and hits the bullseye dead center.
Like-
a heck of a 161.
Perfect.
100.
The scoreline was 1-1 at the time he did that. The final score was 6-1. That is how quickly a match can change based on a mistake.
Turned on its head. I mean, it completely flipped the. Might as well flip the room upside down, and what was
140.
down was up, and what was up was down, and after that, it just he never collected himself from that, and yeah, Stowe took advantage and just ran.
Well, when Stowe averages 102,
100.
Doesn't hurt.
that
Jimmy, you require 135.
Yeah.
Well, hurts your opponent, but doesn't
Yeah.
hurt you at all.
he doesn't have to start on the bull here, and that's why he didn't. He can just tee this up. 95 leaves tops.
57.
57 leaves a little bit more than that. So Cameron, a maximum here would do a lot to put some pressure on. He'll even accept a 1-3-4. Not going to do either of those.
57. Jimmy, you
So
require
Jim Long-
78.
Even has 6 from here.
More than likely going to make this a 4-4 score line. Tops.
38.
He'll be back. What kind of pressure can David Cameron apply to the tops from Jim Long?
60.
Not
Jimmy, you
much.
require 40.
No, not a whole lot there. The 180 for 4 would have been hilarious, but
Good marker.
Game
There it
shot
is.
and
absolutely.
Jim Long.
17 dart hole to throw for Jim Long. 4-4 score line. Their road to this point. David Cameron defeated Danny Lobby 6-1 in the quarterfinals.
36.
Danny averaged a 100.22 and won one leg. In the top 16, David Cameron defeated Jason Brandon. We saw that one on stream. A 91.45 in a 6-1 victory. In the top 32, David Cameron defeated Rick Allred 5-0 with a 98.88 average. So
60.
David Cameron's lost 2 legs total coming into this match
He doesn't
when
like.
he needed to do a job.
He does not like to lose a whole lot, even if it's just a simple leg. But yeah,
100.
Jim
Yeah.
Long defeated Jacob Taylor in a last leg decider 6-5, which had huge implications on the points list for the Canadians. And look at this from David Cameron.
120.
Don't look at it anymore. Jim Long, a 6-0 victory over Keith Way. A 5-3 victory over Justin Fawcett. And that it was his route
100.
to where we are now. The second semifinal coming up next, Stowe Bunce versus Alex Spellman. Number 1 and number 2 on the CDC 2023 Tour
100.
points list. And they have ran out front with those.
they are out in front of the pack, and with only tomorrow between them and the finish line, you know, they're not going to let off the
105.
gas pedal. But at the same time, you wonder, you know, if they've got a whole lot to worry about or not. Who's got the gumption to make a run tomorrow to maybe push up that point leader,
40.
you know, close that point
Jimmy
gap a little
required
bit.
96.
96, this is for a huge opportunity to break the throw. And with Cameron back on 144, Jim Long might have 6 starts at this, but he's not going to expect it. It's going to be 88. And he
Yeah,
does
double
break the throw to
95.
make it a 5-4 lead for Jim Long.
That Jim to throw first.
Timed it beautifully.
Game on.
And he's back in control. Now you have to complete the break a throw.
Yep. Have to finish what you started, Jim.
If he does hold his throw here, he will take a
100.
6-4 lead and become 1 leg away from a finals appearance and potentially a tie scoreline with David Cameron in the points total.
125.
I mean, can you? Can you
crazy.
imagine, man?
We played 11 events, and they're this close.
Yeah.
And they're going to stay really close going into tomorrow no matter what.
Which just shows you as a testament to
100.
showing you how well both of them have performed the entirety of this tour. It's not been flash in the pan, I disappear. No. These guys have found a gear, held a gear, found a standard, and just run with it.
140.
That last start left a lot to be desired, but the 140 didn't. Great first start from Jim.
Yeah.
Not going to leave a finish.
85.
So David Cameron, the door is open to leave the first look. 2 trebles here would be huge. That's a good marker for that, too.
100.
All right, 136 when he returns. What type of pressure will be under from Jim? Oh, no, that's a devastating last start.
136.
So David Cameron has 6 darts to break right back. And that is a huge last start.
That's a massive last start. To find that and to put all the pressure on Jim Long, who is going to run at that.
Looking for the 133 to leave tops and does so.
133.
I mean, that's about as much pressure as you could put on that 36 as you could possibly imagine.
And it's only going to be 1 dart at double 9. And he hits it. What a dart from David Cameron.
11th leg is David.
Breaks right back. And we are tied up again, 5-5.
Cold as ice. Just unflinching, unwavering, just steadfast.
And that dart is perfect. Unlucky second dart.
83.
Even an unlucky third, the way it rolled off that barrel.
I would agree with that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have, I mean, this Dark Connect Derby has been everything we could ever have wanted this afternoon and then some. Live at the American Legion Post 331 in Brownsburg, Indiana. Just so you know, room rental is available at reasonable cost. Think of us for your wedding, receptions, and or meetings.
100.
317-939-0265 for American Legion Post 331. And I can tell you, based on how they've hosted us, that they are fantastic hosts.
Beautiful facility. Staff here has been nothing short of amazing. Kitchen has been nothing but short of amazing. It's just been, I've been here twice now for this, and both times.
Couldn't ask for more.
Couldn't ask for any more. It's just been delightful.
140.
Nice 140 from David Cameron.
David Cameron's average dropped down a bit, now starting to creep right back up. Kind of coming and going like the tide just a little bit here.
60.
We have still yet to have a last leg decider on our stream.
We're working on it.
This one's got to go to that.
I mean, for the storybook purposes, if nothing else.
100.
I mean, if you're not entertained at this point, I'd make sure to do a wellness check to make sure you still have a pulse.
Yeah, this is the type of situation, these next 2.5 matches.
44.
This is why you don't need the back of your chair.
78.
Nope.
I know I'm on the edge of my seat. David Cameron tops for a 6-5 lead.
58.
He will be back with Jim all the way back on 280. Needs a couple trebles just to leave a finish. There's one of them.
100. David, you require 20.
So here we go. Double 10 for David Cameron to move within 1. And there it is. 16 dart hole to throw.
12th leg is Jim to throw first. Game on.
And these averages are separated by minuscule numbers. What an important leg this is for Jim
60.
Long. And also David Cameron.
I mean, yeah. David Cameron is break his throw and win. Jim is hold on one more time and survive the last leg decider.
85.
If David Cameron goes on to win this match and the finals, he will be in the driver's seat heading into tomorrow in the order of merit.
And we will also have ourselves a good old-fashioned
120.
Canada versus the United States final here, no matter what we do.
Oh, yeah. Got to love it.
So we've got the brothers in arms from each country playing each other in each semifinal, and then they're going to duel it out in the final.
140.
One Canadian, one United, and one American. So See how this duel's out. Jim Long fighting to stay in this one.
100.
Steady ton there. Sitting on 216 after 9. Only 30 from David Cameron, so
That
door
might
wide open here for Jim Long.
Yeah, that's the opening he needed.
And he's going to take advantage.
140.
Cold as ice.
76 left after 12. A great leg to do that.
100.
And Jim Long just won a last leg decider against Jacob Taylor when he needed to. So the confidence is going to be there if he does, in fact, hit this double 8 or double 4.
68.
Ooh, David Cameron, the 146 would be massive.
For the match.
Not going to do so
26.
at all.
Jim, you require 8.
To take us the distance.
Beautiful marker.
What an important dart. And he hits it.
Game shot on the 12th leg.
Jim Long takes us to the
Throw
final
first.
leg, leg number 13 of this match, and our first last leg decider. It's as if the story is writing itself.
It's just so good.
96.
It's just that good, man. And this is what we want. First last leg decider we've had on the stream.
Second in a row for Jim Long when he's needed it.
54.
Then needless to say, he's 1-0 in last leg deciders so far today.
And David Cameron has not been tested at all up to this point in the tournament.
No, and their averages are neck and neck. They have tested
59.
each other's mettle.
You're going to see a little bit of scrappiness, I think, in this one. Who hits the big troubles?
Two-man enter, one-man leave
100.
scenario here. They're neck and neck, so slight advantage to David being on throw, but that's slight. That second dart helps.
Look at these averages.
140.
They are separated by .04.
Yep.
66 score line. Oh, and that is not the right time for a troublous visit from Jim. So Cameron a chance to run and set himself up nicely. He's going to have to move.
59.
And a troublous visit to return. Does get a first look at a finish. The 147 is the perfect leg. And snooker now that I remember it, by the way. And he's going to have 6 from
60.
147.
David, you require
At least.
147.
How is he going to set it up?
100.
Not bad at all. Leaves a little single to double combination. Jim Long's going to have to put a lot of pressure on. A maximum will tie it up.
He needs a treble.
60.
Doesn't get
David,
it.
you require 47.
Leaves a finish, but it's an outside shot.
It's a gnarly one.
Tops for David Cameron.
Game
And
shot.
what a
And the
match. David Cameron needed it and got it done. Cements himself atop the Canadian Order of Merit going into tomorrow. Now the only question is, how much of a lead will he have over Jacob Taylor and then Jim Long, who is only 2 points back of Jacob Taylor? Wow. 7-6. Couldn't have asked for a better first semifinal.
Not at all.